March week 3, language, 3rd grade, lesson 2, poetry, and we're hitting poetry again. We already did a little packet on poetry because every song actually starts as a poem, so it's worth learning about. Poetry is a special type of writing. A poem uses language creatively to describe things or to express feelings. Structure. Poems are different than stories, which are made up of sentences and have paragraphs. A poem usually made up of rows of text called lines. They don't have to be full sentences. The lines may be broken into groups called stanzas. Remember that word?
Yeah.
From last time? Most poems have stanzas, not paragraphs. The stanzas fit together to provide a poem's overall structure. How many lines does this poem have, and how many stanzas? Okay, 4 lines and 2 stanzas. And it's a nursery rhyme. I used to sing it. To market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jigga to jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jigga to jog. You guys remember that when you were little?
No.
Okay.
Mom only taught me.
A few. Well, my mom, she did a lot of nursery rhymes with me. The sounds of poetry. Poems are meant to be read aloud. They're fun to say and listen to. Please sit up, pencils down. Thank you. Poets choose words carefully for their sounds. The sounds of poets' words work together to create rhythm and rhyme. Rhythm creates the beat of a poem. Rhythm is the pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in lines of poetry. Read aloud There Was an Old Man with a Beard by Edward Lear on the following page. Use your finger to tap along to the rhythm. You tend to tap on the stressed or stronger syllables. You guys ready to try it? So we'll just snap our fingers. There was an old man with a beard who said it is just as I feared. 2010 for larks and the wren have all built their nests in my beard. Not with pencils, but pencil down. Words that rhyme have the same ending sound. Many poems have lines that end with rhyming words. Reread this poem, the one above, and underline the rhyming words. Okay? Ready?
Beard and
Good. And 2 beards, right? Beard goes with the 2 beards. Now let's put circles around the other line. Pen and Ren. Okay, so if we see Ren, Ren's not here today, but there's a kid in our class called Ren. If we see him tomorrow, we're going to tell him that he made a nest in an old man's beard. Shall we read the poem for older? There was an old man with a beard who said, it is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nests in my beard. Poets choose words to create pictures in the reader's mind. They use both literal and non-literal language. Literal language means exactly what the words say. Pencils down, please. Non-literal language does not mean exactly what the words say. Read these lines from Boats Sail on the Rivers by Christina Rossetti. Who wants to read it?
me.
Okay, Gideon.
Boats sail on the river. Ships sail on the sea. But clouds sail across the sky. Clouds that sail across the sky.
Okay, read it again and loudly.
Boats sail on the rivers and ships sail on the seas. But clouds that sail across the sky are prettier than these.
Okay. So the first 2 lines tell about boats and ships sailing, and this is literal language. Boats and ships do sail. The 3rd line tells about cloud sailing. This is non-literal language. Here the poet chose the word sail to make a word picture to show how the clouds move. They do often look like they're floating on water, right, as they're scudding across the sky. Pencils down. narrator of a story. The speaker may reflect the voice of the poet or that of a character. The speaker may have a different point of view than the reader. Poems may be written in different points of view. First person is written as if the poet were the speaker. It uses I, me, mine, and other first person pronouns. Who remembers the story of Sherlock Holmes?
Me.
Okay. That was written from whose point of view? The author or one of the characters?
One of the characters.
Yeah, which one?
Watson.
Watson. So that would be first person because it said, I noticed, I asked the professor, right? That's first person. When you hear that word I in a story a lot, it's first person. Third person is written as if an outsider were the speaker, so it's he, they, her, and other third person pronouns. What do you think second person is? If first person is I and third person is he or she, what would second person be? You. Do you ever read books in second person? You this, you that.
Yeah.
You did. Something like that?
Okay, so there's hardly any books written that way. Like, you jumped up and escaped from the ghost as your hair stood on end. Hardly ever read books like that. It's usually I jumped up, I disappeared as fast as I could into a hole, I waited until the ghost had gone by. Or it's he or she, okay? They hid in a field, they covered themselves with straw, they had to stay there all night because the ghosts were out until the sun came up. Did you hear they? That's he and she. Okay? That's third person. Read the rhyme. They're talking about this one. Who is the speaker? What is the point of view? Underline the words that tell you. Okay, who wants to read it? Okay, Silas, loud. Up. Mask off. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught
One side, caught a. Okay, let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One side caught a fish on a line. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Yeah, you didn't do much nursery rhymes, huh?
I didn't know that one.
Okay.
Forgot it.
So it asks, who is the speaker? Who is the speaker? Griffin.
The person who got caught a fish.
Yeah. The person who wrote it. Good. What is the point of view? First person. So we need to write. This is the first person point of view. And underline the words that tell you that. Silas, can you say that loud? Yeah. Kinds of poems. This chart below shows some kinds of poetry. Kind of a nursery rhyme. That's a poem that has been retold over many years. Some of them are 400, 500 years old. Do you guys know the one Ring-a-Ring-a-Rosy? Ring a rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes, we all fall down. Do you guys know what that's from?
I don't like they call it ashes and posy.
Okay, it's from the Middle Ages. It's from like 600 years ago when there was the Black Plague.
Ooh, my
Black
dad
Death.
was watching about it yesterday. What's a black plague?
The Black Death was a plague that wiped out a third of the people in Europe. A third of them died.
Was it a sickness?
Yeah. And the Ring-a-Ring-a-Rosy was the rash that you would get. It was like a ring. It would show up on your body, a ring of lumps, red lumps. And that was called the Ring of Roses, right? Pocket full of posies. People carried flowers around in their pockets because it smelled of death everywhere. So they were picking flowers and stuffing them in their pockets to try and smell that instead of the smell of death. Ashes is they burn the bodies. We all fall down means a lot of us are dying. So that's where that poem comes from. It's like 600 years old.
Okay, I don't
I
like
thought it was.
Silas, nice hand.
The movie said if the Black Plague hasn't happened, she said the wolves that live in the right now wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people died, and all those people were like,
Yeah, the world would be different, wouldn't it?
how did the
So let's go to this one, a narrative poem. That's a poem that tells a story. So a good example. Would you mind telling them to be quiet out there? Would you please put that one on the bell? Thank you. Okay. So a narrative poem, one that tells a story. So one of the best ones would be Charge of the Light Brigade.
Oh, I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Charge of the Light Brigade is a famous poem that tells the story of a battle where it's into the Valley of Death rode the 600, okay, and it's just about these people that charged. It was actually British people. They charged and they were trying to win against these troops that were up above on the cliffs. And who do you think won?
The troops.
The people up above, yeah. The 600 all got killed. Charging into a valley when there's people above you on cliffs is a bad idea. So it's a poem about that, and it's a narrative. It tells the story. It's a very famous poem. A limerick. So that's actually this one. There was an old man with a beard. That's called a limerick, and those are funny. Okay, a humorous 5-line poem that rhymes. They're always funny. And free verse is a poem that does not use rhyme or rhythm. Rhythm or rhyme doesn't use it. Okay, language spotlight. Shades of meaning. Poets think about shades of meaning, or the similar meanings among words. They choose just the right words to express their ideas. Read the words below. How are the meanings similar, and how are they different? Bleak, gloomy, drab, dull. How are they similar?
Gloomy and dull.
Yeah, how are they similar?
They all mean a sad word.
They all mean kind of sad. Good. So let's put similar. Is there's a sort of a sadness, right? They express some sadness. Okay. Well, what makes them different? Yeah, they express a different form of sadness. What would you describe as bleak?
Flying non-stop in the field. Very sad.
Bleak you would use for a landscape. So if you looked out and you saw like crumbling houses and burnt fields and dead trees, you would say that's a bleak landscape. So bleak goes with landscapes. It means a sad-looking landscape.
So please goes with crap.
Okay, now what about gloomy? What would you describe? Yeah, Silas.
You look up on a mountain and it's all gray.
It's all foggy. The air, good. Air is usually gloomy, right? Air or the atmosphere can be gloomy. Andrew, if it's quiet out there, can you go ahead and put the wedge back in the door? It was loud and we shut the door. Drab.
Drab means
You're walking and it feels like you've got a weight tied to you.
Oh, good guess. Drab refers to an animal's feathers or fur. Okay. Even clothing can be drab. It refers to something that covers the body. So, skin covering can be drab.
I'm gonna go. Do you want it just a little open?
No, I want it all the way open. Dull.
Where it is
Sit loud. Don't want to do it.
What does does dull
Dull
refer to?
means like you're
The shoulders are very
you're not too sad, but you feel a little gloomy sad.
So dull refers to feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, a sword can be dull. A blade can be dull. Can a color be dull?
Yes.
That's
Or a
what
knife can be dull.
usually you would refer to color as dull. So skin covering for drab and dull. We're gonna put that out here. Usually we talk about color being dull. Okay. It says read the following lines from I Often Wonder Why It's So by Abram Joseph Ryan. Think about how the poet uses the word dreary. How would the poem be different if he had used one of the other words shown above? Ready?
It wouldn't be that exciting.
Well, let's just read it. Some eyes sleep when some eyes wake, and so the dreary night hours go. Some hearts beat where some hearts break. I often wonder why 'tis so. Shall I read it again and see if you guys can figure out why he used a dreary?
Oh, what's that? Because
Griffin.
to explain tired.
So yeah, dreary expresses feeling, that's for sure. But listen, why else he picked it? Listen with your ears. Listen carefully. Pencils down. Gideon. Some eyes sleep when some eyes wake, and so the dreary night hours go. Some hearts beat where some hearts break. I often wonder why 'tis so. Silas?
The dark nights, the hours pass on.
I think it's because it's got two beats, and the only other one is gloomy that has two beats. I think that if he had put bleak, drab, or dull in there, it wouldn't sound as the beat, the rhythm wouldn't work. Okay? Because it's got stressed and unstressed syllables. And if you put, listen to it if I put dull in there. Get ready. Some eyes sleep when some eyes wake, and so the dull night. There was no unstressed one. It just went from dull to night. You want two beats there. You want two beats. You want a stressed and an unstressed beat. And dreary has it. Look, dreary. Did you hear where the stressed beat was? On the first syllable. So that's why I think he picked dreary. He could have done gloomy, but gloomy doesn't refer to feelings. It only refers to air. So that's the double reason. He picked it because it has two syllables and it goes with feelings, doesn't it? Okay? So let's put two syllables. Help the beat. Or rhythm. Let's put rhythm. And it expresses feeling. So dreary is yet another word that means sad, right? But it does mainly refer to feeling. You feel dreary. Okay? You can feel it. Whereas gloomy doesn't really go with feelings. And this poem is about feelings. Did you see the line, some hearts beat, some hearts break? He's talking about people's feelings.
It's like in most things.
If you got all the way to the end of this page, that counts for your whole language work too.
Oh, yeah.